nice group today. Welcome, welcome. Okay, I'm going to try to save all the time we can for Genjo to take over and take us into the final picture and the last our last session on the ox pictures. So Genjo, thank you so much for doing this. What a wonderful gift. So turn it over to you.
Okay, while people are still arriving, the rest of us can do a little bit of centering and meditation, and then I'll start again with a little bit of guided and then some silence. Taking a few moments to settle into this time and place and open our hearts and minds to what is. Taking slow, gentle, whole breaths. And resting in our own center of gravity, observing the world inside and outside our physical form. There's no need to add or subtract, amplify or diminish, judge or analyze. Dropping that tailbone like a taproot deep into the center of Mother Earth and beyond. Allowing our spines to be like antennas to the heavens, helping us nurture our center of gravity, the nexus between the two. And as we sit and breathe and witness this moment of eternity together, we gently watch for the silence, the stillness, the quiet power between and within each note of this symphony of now. Allowing that background, omnipresent silence or stillness to nurture, restore, even heal us. And as our heart minds begin to open more as one together wherever we are in the world, one with each other, one with our environment, and one with all other open and well-rooted heart minds around the globe. May we join together in giving out hugs to our very troubled world and to our own journeys of trials and tribulations and joys and sorrows with a gentle, loving presence. Place our palms together and give each other a bow. Okay, I'm going to share the document that we've been examining about the Zen ox pictures. Yes, here's the 10th picture, but I'm going to go all the way back to the beginning here and just remind ourselves of the journey Please remember that the journey is not linear. It might happen in this sequence. Frankly, it could happen backwards. It could happen in any kind of order. And I found that it's cyclic. In other words, sometimes we feel lost, like in this first picture, and sometimes we feel very found, like the last picture. And that can alternate from minute to minute, or certainly from day to day. And all of these pictures can be within one day or within one sit of meditation or walk. So they can sort of be superimposed or happening in a kind of phase shift, like almost like changing channels. They're all present. We're more aware of one in one moment, perhaps, than we are in another, but they're all present. Some of them may feel as though you visited very often, and some of them you may feel as though you haven't visited at all. But I'm going to kind of persist in saying that they're all present, whether you have kind of felt as though you've entered each picture or not. They're still present. There's nothing to attain. Maybe a door remains to be open, but or a window remains to be open, but the whole house of our identity is contained in the environment of much more than awakening, this vast, uninhibited expanse of reality. So we start out feeling kind of lost in this first picture. And in the second picture, when we feel lost, we start looking. And after a while, when we look, it's not hard to find. You might find it in the tree or the grass or an ox or a dog or a cat or a bird song or a sunset or the waves on the beach or the stars on the summer night in the high desert. And then we try to hold on to it, and we find that we can't hold on to it. That's a lesson that we all have to learn. Well, we have to allow it to come and allow it to go. This kind of big feeling of expanse. Can't hold it, we can't control it, we can't be in possession of it in the sense of I'm going to claim it for mine. We learn that with taming the ox, it feels like I'm going to tame my ability to be in the presence of this primal, deep, sage-like nature of my deep self. And in this picture, we learn that with some sort of discipline, some sort of kind of spiritual practice, which might be just a walk in the park every day, or sitting on a bench somewhere, or having a swim, or doing some yoga, or formal meditation, or contemplative prayer, whatever works, that with discipline, we can nurture the soil for greater awareness and see beyond our narrow, egoistic view of the world more consistently. And when that happens, on occasion, we really start to feel as though everything is flowing like water downhill. When we have deep moments of samadhi, might be playing an instrument or journaling or doing a kayak or riding a bike or in meditation, but we feel harmonious, deep harmony in some activity where the activity and ourselves and the actions are all seamless and unified. And there's no gate between self and other, or the activity we're engaged in. Sometimes when we throw up, that's like throwing up, I said this is like throwing up one window inside our narrow egoistic perspective. I called this just arbitrarily, I called this the western window. This one I might call the east window, where it's a kind of mountaintop experience, where you're literally sitting on a mountaintop, or we're in a hermitage. We have this hermitage feel, even if we're not in a hermitage, where we feel kind of entirely alone, but never lonely. And we feel at one with the environment and at one with ourselves. And I called this the north window. And this was when we look into the origin of self, the origin of reality, and we come to what's called emptiness, or enso of the circle. We can't say what it is. It's like where the universe comes from and where we all come from. And it's before time and space. And time and space, the space-time continuum arises out of this, whatever this is. It has no identity, and yet it is the soil from which the universe arises. And if you look deep enough at anything, you come to this original source before time and before space. And then we snap back sometimes and open this south window. And it's hard to find yourself when it snaps back, because everywhere you look, there it is. A grain of rice, or a drop of dew, or the gentle breeze, or the falling rain, or the sound of a bird. And even looking in the mirror, you just see that you're this kind of vibrant, almost mirage of self, and that everything is vibrant. I come from Southern California originally, so I call it the good vibration of everything. Now, when we open one or more windows, occasionally we can step out of the box of our narrow egoistic identity and really rejoin the world kind of as a holy flow. And you don't have to open every window. The last four windows that I talked about, the four cases before this, 4 pictures before this, but this is leaving your fixed sense of self behind, at least temporarily, and being in the world in a way that is as zero narcissism, zero, and no expectation, and no desire for merit, and is not trying to fix anything, but has the capacity to hear any joy and any sorrow and any suffering with an open heart. So let's read this section. I'll read it out loud for everyone. 10, entering the marketplace with helping hands. Barefooted and naked of breast, I mingle with the people of the world. My clothes are ragged and dust-laden. I am ever blissful. I use no magic to try and extend my life. Now, before me, it seems the dead trees become alive. Comment. Inside my gate, 1,000 sages do not even know me. The beauty of my garden is real but invisible. Why should one search for the footprints of the ancient masters? In fact, you're walking in them already. I go to the marketplace, to the town square, with my gourd and return home with my staff. I visit the wine shop and the market, and everywhere I look upon, everywhere I look upon becomes enlightened. In other words, like the previous picture, every person, no matter how disgruntled and how worried or how obstinate, just you have this compassionate, joyous feeling towards everyone and everything. And this is, we have to remember the core impermanence of everything. So even this picture of coming out of the house is temporary. You snap back into your house and your sense of constructed ego identity in a way that becomes somewhat narcissistic again. That's my own experience of 50 years of practice, is that I can't hold on to this picture any more than I can hold on to any of the others. Sometimes I feel lost, and sometimes I feel found. I can say that with 50 years of practice, I encounter all these rooms with more flexibility and awareness that, oh, yes, this again. And indeed, when I'm able to walk out into the world in this way, represented by this symbol, this picture, I'm most useful to my clients, to my dog, to my daughter, to my spouse, to my Zen community, to my neighbors, to the politics of Seattle or the state of Washington or the nation or the world. And it is the highest, I think, manifestation of the three tenets, because I feel when I'm walking from this place that I'm always ready to bear witness and have a caring heart to the person on the street or the nation facing genocide or my own nations of entrenched races or systemic or systematic races that you find everywhere, including this country, the United States, of course, but you'll find that everywhere. And looking at that and facing that and feeling that. So it's a place where you're so open to bearing witness because you have no barrier to joy or suffering. It's like the widest acceptance of the fullest range of joy and suffering. People think that enlightenment means that you're always in joy. But you can have tears of joy or tears of sorrow just flowing all practically all the time if you're out of your narrow egoistic sense of self and have come out for a walk into the marketplace in this space. And as I say, we tend to be most useful because we are ready, so ready to bear witness, not have an agenda of fixing anything, really able to listen and enter the unknowing with whomever we're listening with and or bearing witness to. And in that heart-mind connection with no expectation and seeking no solution and not trying to find any kind of fix, still arise with some insight about how to be more caring in this moment with this individual or this subject. It just happens automatically without the discriminating mind trying to figure it out. All right, I'm going to unshare here and then drop the whole document into the comments again, so that if you don't have it already available, you will into the chat. Called It's on its way. And it should have arrived in your box, and we'll have it up at the same time. And let me just see if I can say anything more about it. If I'm in this space and giving a Dharma talk or something to my community, I get surprised about what comes out of my mouth. It's like I'm not speaking, something else is speaking through me. And it's entirely, I might have thought, well, this is the subject of the talk, but then it just comes out and I'm going, wow, that was a good one. And my ego is impressed. Like, where did that come from? Of course, my ego might want to take credit for it, and I try not to, because it's not me. It's not the ego. It's something flowing through me, and everybody has had that feeling. Once in a while, if I'm playing the piano, I'm such a poor piano player, but once in a while, on a song that I'm very familiar with, it really comes out quite musically, and it's magical how musical it comes out. And that's not me either. It just comes out, it flows. Or if I'm riding my bike and I take my hands off the handlebar and I'm going through the Stewart Park here and I can get mostly around the park without holding my hands. It's like, oh, I'm flying. It's just flowing. There's just a flowing kind of, and I'm one with the trees and the water and the people and the dogs and the babies and the swimmers while I'm riding no hands around the park. And it's a joyous, joyous feeling. But, if I'm going to the store and there's someone at the store who's begging for some dollars, I'm trying to have the dollars in my pocket, but definitely I'm ready to look into their eyes and for them to feel met and seen. It's the height of empathy when you're in this, when you're in this number 10 state, because because everyone is already you. So when you encounter someone, you're able to see through their eyes and be in their shoes and feel their suffering or feel their joy, because there's not you and them. The artificial barrier between there is not there anymore. And so when you encounter somebody, it doesn't matter who you encounter or what you encounter, whether it's a rock or a tree, a blade of grass or a person or a dog. Oh, right. We're part of one body and one mind. It's this one body and one mind, walking around with one body and one mind. Does it last? No, it doesn't last. Can it be nurtured? Yeah, it can be nurtured so that it flashes back more easily. And that's what practice brings, is that it's like, yeah, sure, I fall off the horse, but I can get back on more quickly. And am I there all the time? Not at all. Am I there more of the time? In truth, I'm there more of the time than when I began my practice 50 years ago. It's great when I slip into that as a psychotherapist or a spiritual companion, and I'm listening to someone's awful traumatic history, for example, how I can be with that person without being overwhelmed myself in any way, and can be with them in the trauma and not have to take it home with me when I come back to my house. But I can be with them in their trauma in a way that they feel, because it's true, that I'm feeling it the way they feel it. And I'm suffering it the way they are suffering. And that's healing. Just that is so healing. All right. I'm going to sit up now and see if this has stirred up questions, comments, or sharing. Thank you all for sticking with me all through all this.
Can I go ahead?
Go ahead.
This is the interesting question. It's the not being overwhelmed by, and how the practice really of listening and not wanting to fix anything brings back everything to that not you and me, that identity between you and me. And I feel so often, but I see myself doing that. I see myself so often wanting to add to their story and not stick with just being present. And I have to say that biting my tongue is a big helper very often, but very often I don't do it strongly enough. And after that, I really have to go backwards and to maybe apologize or something. But that is that edge between being with and yeah, in a selfless way, like I am just here with you. That's it. And it's hard to maintain, I have to say.
Yeah, I'm with you, and it is. Yeah, I mean, it's especially hard to maintain if you're not happen to be in that 10th picture. Just that, if you're in the 10th picture, it's not hard to maintain. Those are the times when it's not hard to maintain, and it's as easy as water flowing down. But it's the 1 out of 10 there. Perhaps I can manage 1 out of 10.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Carol.
I'm struggling with it, not wanting to fix it. So let's just, hypothetical, but let's just say we live in Nazi Germany, and we know that our country is incinerating human beings. And we are fully awakened every now and again. What do we do? What is that like? How do you respond to what atrocity?
Well, that's it. What do we do is entering the no knowing. It's not like I know what to do. I know that, but this much I know is I've got to be able, I want to be able, and if I'm going to be able to use, I've got to be able to look through everybody's eyes, which is why I go to Alabama and why I go to South Dakota and why I go with Zen peacemakers to Auschwitz and with Zen peacemakers to Rwanda. I want to be able to look through the perpetrator's eyes as much as the victim's eyes. And it's much easier to look through the victim's eyes, as awful as that is, as terrible as that can be, as horrific as that can be. It's even worse to look through the perpetrator's eye. But if I can't look through the perpetrator's eyes, then I'm still trying to fix. So if I can feel what's going on for Trump or Machiavelli or Hitler or the settlers, the wave of settlers coming to the West and displacing horribly the indigenous peoples of the land, or I can feel the racism of the white male cops, or I can feel it from the inside, or I can feel the people who are, say, the MAGA hat people, if I can feel where they're coming from what kind of fear and what kind of anger and what kind of sense of being left behind, if I can feel those feelings of the people who I am politically or even spiritually most on the opposite side of, but if I can look through their eyes, if I'm in that space where I can look through their eyes and feel their suffering and their anger and their fear and their displacement, and I can feel it as though looking through their eyes and being in their shoes, I have no idea how to fix it, but I'm much more likely in not knowing to be some sort of element, holy fool kind of element that helps the whole thing resolve rather than become more polarized and more fall victim myself or watch others fall victim to idealization or vilification. There's a line in the Shin Shin Ming. When idealization and vilification are both absent, everything becomes clear and undisguised. They're both poisons, idealization and vilification. And I have to watch out for that tremendously because I'm susceptible to it. But when I'm not falling into idealization or vilification of anyone and anything, then I can look through Dr. Mengeles' eyes. That was very hard to do. I had to go back to Auschwitz 3 times and read several books before I could figure out how to look through Dr. Mengeles' eyes. I just couldn't. It was like somebody who tortured and tested children and then killed them for scientific purposes. That was hard. That was really hard. But to see through Dr. Mengeles' eyes and feel his suffering and what brought him to that, and the whole arc of what brought him to that, it took a long time. But I'm frankly better off for it, that I can see through his eyes. I not like condoning his actions, but I have to be able to see through his eyes or the MAGA hat eyes in order to possibly be of some use in this thing not staying so polarized and splitting even further into idealization and vilification on both sides. I don't know how to respond, but I know that I have to be able to look through everybody's eyes if I'm going to be some sort of agent of loving action. That's the only way. And if enough of us are agents of loving action from this place of unknowing, then the idealization and vilification will diminish on both sides, and we will get by. We'll get by, and another layer of the onion of human evolution may proceed.
So I have a question. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I'm just not. Oh, there you are. Okay.
You got me. Yes. So So I'm Jewish, and my parents are Holocaust survivors, and I'd like to know how you got to the place where you could live in box number 10, because I can't quite get there, and bad stuff is happening in the world, and I know about illusion and duality. I know about Buddhism and trying to hold that in one hand and being Jewish in the other. But we don't live in box number 10. And I mean, should we not judge others? Should we not judge others? I guess maybe that's my question.
Yeah, good question. Well, I think we have to discern right from wrong based on our values and our integrity, and project our values and our integrity and discernment of right and wrong and state our opinions clearly. At the same time, is we have to be able to listen and see where people are coming from very different perspectives. And I can't live in number 10, and I slip out of it all the time. I'm not asking anybody to live in number 10. If I can manage to be in number 10 1 out of 10 times, I'm quite happy. And there's not, Bernie would say sometimes if you've got a part of the body that is gangrened or you might have to cut it off in order to save the body. I like that. It's possible that I would have to be, if someone were, for example, in my own history, if I saw my father or a male harming a child the way my father harmed me, and I said stop, and I tried to reason, and I shouted stop, and I tried to stand between him and harming the baby, and he still wouldn't do it. As much of a peace activist as I am, I would rise to whatever level of force was necessary to stop that from happening if it was happening right in front of me, including killing him. And that's weird for a peace activist to say. So it's not that I have some opinion that harming the baby or the Nazis persecuting so many different varieties of people, including and beyond the Jews, that I wouldn't try and stand in the way. What I love is when the Ukrainians in Russia occupied territory stood in front of the tanks, or the Chinese dissidents stood in front of the tanks at the square in Beijing. I might get run over, but I certainly would hope that if I could slip into that place, that I could do that with love for the person who's driving the tank or getting ready to gas me, or throw me into the fire pit. I would stand against that. And if I had some means to stop it from happening, I would use whatever means was in front of me to stop it from happening, if just putting my body in place. So it's not that I'm not ready to use force in that kind of situation. Gandhi, I was shocked when I was studying Gandhi, that Gandhi said it's better to be violent than it is to be a coward. Now, he was very big on satyagraha, which is this loving peace force, and that you can accomplish a lot without being violent. But it's better to be violent than to be a coward. Well, I'd be one of those people who died in Nazi Germany for standing up against the Nazis. I would hope. I won't know unless I'm in exactly that position. But I would hope I'd be the one. I'd be somebody who stood against the Nazis and ended up in a concentration camp and getting killed myself, whether I was Jewish or not, but because I was standing against that regime. So it's not like I'm not expressing my opinion of what's right and wrong and putting my life on the line to do it. I am, or I would hope to be, certainly hope to be. I just wouldn't be vilifying those who, and dehumanizing the ones who are doing the dehumanization. Does that help a little bit, Gary? You got
Yeah, actually, I think I feel really heard, and I appreciate that. Thank you. And it helps a little bit.
Okay, helps them. I just want to be at a place where I'm not dehumanizing somebody else because they're dehumanizing me or someone else. Go ahead, Mark.
Would you equate this, the 10th archery picture with upaya, term upaya, skillful meaning,
Yes.
more or less. Being that, I feel like sometimes, especially in my line of work, I suffer from compassion fatigue a lot in my job. And I feel like sometimes I have to protect myself from people because I don't know how to explain it. I feel like I'll be taken advantage of if I do help people to a certain extent, or I just can't help you in that way. Like I don't have the means to help you in that way. I meet people like that every day at my job. And I feel, I don't know, I feel like helpless, I think is the best word for it. Sometimes to help people in the way that need help, because I almost sometimes also feel resentful because these people don't want to help themselves, but they want you to help them. So it's like I feel like I have to guard myself sometimes against people and kind of I don't know. I guess boundaries maybe sometimes is important too. It's almost like I guess I'm playing devil's advocate in a way. Like you still have to like protect yourself, but yet be compassionate. I find that hard to do.
Yes, I think it's a very difficult thing when someone is saying they're essentially saying, "I'll be your child and you be my parent and take care of me," because they weren't taken care of, and I can feel that they weren't taken care of. They're looking for someone, anyone, to take that role finally, even if they're older adults. Will someone finally be a good parent and actually take care of me? And they feel entitled to it. And they were entitled to it back when they were kids and they didn't get it. So I can be compassionate that that's where they're coming from. And I can usually stay in a place where I'm not slipping into a surrogate parent because that's what they're looking for. And at the other hand, I hope I can say, well, at least feel that lack that they're dealing with, and in a kind and caring way, be able to look into their eyes and see how much that hurts that they never had that caring parent. And no, I can't be that caring parent. By the way, sometimes I'll say to people, God, if you find someone who can do that, I'll sign up. Everybody would love to have that loving, caring parent that maybe we never had, and someone to take care of us right now. And I can feel how much that hurts and how big that longing is without getting sucked into it.
That's a good point. I think sometimes I bring my own ego into the story too. Like, sometimes I'm saying it's just about you, but it's really also about me too. Like feeling like taken advantage of, and I sometimes I forget about that. Like even though I'm in the place of power in that dynamic, like I still bring my trauma onto that people too. So sometimes I forget about that. It's hard.
It's hard because it's like seeing, even though it might be an adult, it's like seeing a baby abandoned on the street. You hope you don't walk by. There's a baby abandoned on the street. And then adults are coming from that same kind of space. And it's hard, very hard, not to want to rescue. But rescuing an adult is not going to really help them. And yet, what can you do? Well, I can sit next to them. I can maybe offer them some kindness. I can offer them some, maybe a couple of bucks. I can offer them a meal, maybe. Maybe I can go in and buy some, a toothpaste or something. But I'm sorry, I can't be your parent. Go ahead, please.
I read this book called Awakening and Maturity.
I know that book.
And, I think the combining of the 10 ox pictures as a model for awakening with maturity, which is the other part of what we're talking about here. When we're helping people that need help somehow, they're stunt. I don't know what's the non-judgmental word for needing to be more mature. They haven't quite figured out how to be a mature adult. That's the only way I can say it. So through trauma or whatever else has happened in their life, they're struggling, right? So they're reaching out for help. So I just gave you this as a prompt for your book because I think it gently and nicely combines the idea of maturing as a person in the world with awakening. So and all the 10 ox pictures are in there and have a lot of great commentary. So that was all I wanted to say.
Well, thanks for the pitch, Keith. You can find this on Amazon.
Yeah.
But even if you've experienced all of the 10 ox pictures, we say now we're just beginning. Even if you're fluid in all of the 10 Xenox pictures, and you know what it's like to be lost, we all know that one, and you also know what it's like to be found, and you've been around the mandala of these pictures. It still takes decades to mature, where we're able to care for ourselves, care for our personal history, care for our genetic history, care for our generational history in a way that is effective and discerning but non-judgmental, and caring but not possessed by the drama of becoming everybody's parent. It's a lot of work to be able to take care of myself and my genetic and generational history sufficiently to be a good egg in the world where I'm not overwhelmed and I'm able to be helpful like a catalyst rather than a caretaker.
Yeah, I just comment on that's what you're talking about is what's drawn me to this guy, Buddhism, to the idea we're talking about here, because the idea of taking care of yourself so that you can take care of someone else.
I have to process and continue to process my own baggage in order to be even around somebody else's baggage. And I learned from my own baggage, karmic baggage, personal and generational, just all the suffering of the world. When I keep facing that, I can keep facing the same material showing up in others in a way where I don't become overwhelmed. Go ahead.
Thank you for this. Today has been like really strong for me in a way that I think maybe one of the first or second sessions was that I just appreciate this whole series. I wanted to share a couple of things kind of related to some of the things that were said earlier, and I have a question too. About a year ago, when I was doing a lot of work on my family history, my parents were both Holocaust survivors as well. I had some encounters with my grandmothers, just sort of visionary kind of things. And then at one point, I actually met in this vision a Nazi soldier in the concentration camp where my grandmother was. And I was, I had this, he was a human being is basically, I just saw a human being. And so there arose from that empathy for him and just a feeling of, yeah, this is just a human being. And then after some more work, sorry, am I speaking too quietly?
No, you're great.
And then after some more work and some work about some personal work about some issues I'll talk about in a second about what is happening in Israel and Gaza now, I had another vision where I was the German soldier. And that was like really intense. That was really intense. But it really relates to what you were saying in answering someone else's questions. And I really appreciate how you framed that without excusing or even understanding what someone does, being able to put oneself in their shoes, maybe, I don't know if that's exact, that's not what you said, but is necessary in order to not dehumanize them. And then my question is, the people I'm having the hard, most of my family still lives in Israel, and the work that I've been doing for the last couple of years, the biggest work I've been doing is having empathy for them and understanding, because I have a great deal of shame, guilt about what's happening there, because I grew up in Israel and I feel that it was our generation who did not resolve this problem that has now turned into this much greater problem. So my question is well, it's a theory, but I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. Is that my difficulty in having empathy for my brother and my nieces and nephews is because I feel guilt about what they're doing.
When we have empathy for all sides, it's like, yes, I can understand. I can understand and I can feel the fear and the horror and the anger on both sides. I'm going to repeat that: fear, horror, anger on both sides, clearly. And I can see how that fear, horror, and anger leads to horrifically awful acts. And I can feel the sorrow of, once again, this polarized human condition is leading to such horrific results. And perpetrator and victim can oscillate. And it's often the case in psychology that someone who has been abused becomes an abuser. Someone who was molested as a child ends up molesting children. And I can feel, and for a long time, because I was abused as a very small child, it was very hard for me to work with anyone in the realm of my psychotherapy practice who had a history of pedophilia. Very, very hard. Eventually I could do it, and I do it. and I can feel the humanity and the hurt of the pedophile in a way that they feel seen and heard and not condemned. The action condemned, but them not condemned. And it's on a much bigger scale, when it comes to nations rather than a person. But it's really the same thing. So I don't condemn the person or the nation or the peoples for their horrific acts. I get where it's coming from. I condemn the actions and would do anything in my heartline, to try and, condemn the actions and not the people or not the person. And is that easy to do? It's not easy to do all the time. It's hard. And stand in the way of the actions as best as I can if I'm in that circumstance. Stand in the way up to the point of offering my life or violence in order to stop it. But and from remotely, if it's remotely, what organizations are actually providing support either for peaceful resolution or for from my sense of value and integrity, what organizations as an extensions of me are providing service, support, or places of refuge where something at a distance might happen on my behalf. So, like Doctors Without Borders or something like that. And any other organization that is supporting some sort of, like Zen peacemakers. Anything that offers some place where everybody could hear how horrific and awful it is on all sides, maybe, just maybe, entering the knowing together until some kind of loving action pops up that might be a catalyst to bringing more, to actually bringing peace. In the places where it's so polarized, like it is in the Middle East, obviously that is really, really hard. Decades and decades hard. And it's not that I don't have any hope, but when it's so entrenched that the other guy is the monster, it's, how do you melt that? As soon as you've got both sides saying, this is just monsters, or dehumanizing of both sides, that kind of polarization, whether one is more dominant and the one is in a weaker position, doesn't matter. That's so entrenched. I understand it, getting stuck in that place from fear, anger, and horror. And I don't know how to solve it. I just know that's a very stuck place where both sides, whether it's here, we have it light, it's here in the United States, but we're polarizing each other in similar ways. Of course, it's only going to get more entrenched and harder. If I can't be, both at the same time in my heart of hearts, pro-life and pro-choice at the same time, I can't possibly be any help to the issue.
Thank you, Ginja. That was really helpful. And I will say that just my intuition has drawn me to, in whatever ways I can, support the organizations. The one quality they have in common is that they're made up of Jews and Palestinians working together. Those are the organizations I support, because that's the only hope to me. But thank you again for your wise words and for this class.
Go ahead, Anne.
Thank you. I remember there was a Rwanda bearing witness retreat many years ago. And one of the beautiful things that came out of it is that through the Zen peacemakers were there, and they were they held councils, and maybe you were there, Genjo, I don't know. I heard.
We were together.
And they had people who were perpetrators, next door neighbors, sitting next to the victims, people who had murdered somebody's spouse, child, cut off their arm, whatever, was sitting next to the relative. And the purpose of that conference was to make a peace and make an understanding. There's another term for it which eludes me at the moment, but they ended up forgiving each other, which is miraculous. I don't know what the situation is like there now. I heard it's not very calm, but that the idea that somebody could forgive the murder of their child, their husband, their wife, and sit right next to them and carry on and live right next to them really takes a saintly kind of livelihood.
Yeah, it's it's some sort of, it's still a dictatorship in Rwanda, in my opinion. But at least the legislative body insists that at least half of the legislature be female, and it's actually greater than. Wish we had such an amendment here. Because I think the reconciliation efforts in South Africa and in Rwanda and other places has been most helpfully led somehow by the female side of our species, being able to end up, in that Rwanda trip. I remember one of the scenes was somebody with that had their arm cut off, next to a woman who had her arm cut off, her baby killed in her lap, standing next to a perpetrator as they got off the bus, and we were leaving, and they were standing waving to us together. Oh my God. Yes, somehow, if we can get together and get beyond idealization or vilification of each other, it is possible to heal between people, and maybe between different tribes. And I mean, I'm not talking about Africa tribes. We're all part of tribes. That different tribes can actually see each other and see through each other's eyes sufficiently to heal from even tremendously horrific acts.
Thank you.
Yes, reconciliation is possible if we can actually look into each other's eyes and feel what it was like to be either the perpetrator or the victim, or, switch it, where sometimes the perpetrator, sometimes the victim, sometimes the victim, sometimes the perpetrator. Any other thoughts, sharings, questions? Again, if it sounds like I don't have the answers, you're right. I don't have the answers. I just had the intention not to fall into idealization and vilification, and to try, not just try, but on occasion be in that place where I can really see through the perpetrator's or the victim's eyes.
And Joe, on the very most fundamental, practical, action-oriented level, what is it that each of us can do to experience and realize these 10 box pictures?
Well, I think the first thing is to realize that we're not islands and that we really are a part of one environment, one body, one mind. And anything that gets us out of our narrow egoistic view, anything that gets us out of this sort of blind, narrow egoistic view and opens us up to the fact that we're part of one reality, one environment, one body, one mind, and repeat, whatever practice helps us get there or realize or awaken to that fact. And repeat that exercise, whatever it is that nurtures that awareness, is really, in a way, the one and only thing that we can do. The secondary thing is, with that awareness, we have to be careful not to spiritually bypass our own karmic gunk that is both personal and generational. So we have to be able to turn first we have to have that perspective beyond the narrow egoistic view. And then we have to be able to look in the mirror and begin to truly work on our own karmic baggage, personal and collective karmic baggage. And between those two things, nurturing the awareness and then looking in the mirror, those two things do lead to more maturity and more effectiveness.
And both of those things are more than thoughts about them, aren't they?
They certainly are. And it goes back to the third picture, or the fifth picture, taming the ox. It's really learning how to tame yourself in consistently doing what nurtures this broader awareness and what nurtures looking in the mirror at our both personal and karmic or collective baggage. And it's kind of like looking outward and looking inward both have to happen. You just can't say, oh, now I've done it, or now I've arrived. There's no arrived.
Injo, could you say something more about spiritual bypassing, or what that exactly is?
Well, first of all, I love spiritual bypassing. It's delightful. For a little while, everything's wonderful. It's a glorious feeling. But what happens when you're in the midst of this vast, seamless oneness is that you can skip over looking in the mirror at your personal or collective gunk that we're all carrying, and My Dharma great-grandfather was a fellow by the name of Genpo Roshi in Japan. And I was training in his temple 20 years after his bodily departure in 1981. And there was this big picture of this guy. And one of the phrases that I learned that he talked about was that the real practice is not awakening. It's learning how to examine and combust. The Japanese word he used is shukugyo, which means dried intestinal karmic dung. Dried intestinal karmic dung. And that's the real work. That's the real work. Your awareness allows you to work on your stuck, dried intestinal karmic dung. And that if you can move that in yourself, which is from your personal history and your genetic and your generational history, that's the real work, and that's what leads to maturity. And that meditation or whatever mechanism you use to nurture a broader awareness is, that's important. It really is important because it gives you the spaciousness to do the deeper work of looking at your personal and generational or cultural karmic baggage. And without that work, we are spiritual bypassing. He also said that another famous thing of Genpo Roshi was that he said that we think we're inside, it feels as though we're inside a box of our self, our idea of self, our sense of self. And we are often inside a box, and it's almost like a casket. He says this, but this casket has no roof. We just have to learn to step out. That's the opening up awareness part of it. But once you step out, turn around and look in the mirror, because there's a lot of work to do. Yes, it is a term of a transpersonal psychologist. That's right. In the comment there, and but I understand it very well. It's quite joyful, and I know I don't rock it. It's just like it's almost like a drug high or something. It's enjoy it, but then make use of it in a positive way. Any final questions, comments, or sharings? Well, it's been a great joy to be with everyone. And I don't have the answers. But I do have these two things. Get out of the box. Look in the mirror.